What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to yet another episode here on Wednesday of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It's new review day here on the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a reissue of a cool little oddity that originally came out in 1983 as kind of like an EP. Geez, I just forgot I did not mention this on our EP episode on the Hudson Valley Squares the other night. But it's one I always kind of like, Brian May and Friends, Starfleet. Right, of course. Project Plus Beyond. Starfleet Project Plus Beyond. So this is the brand new reissue of this. Just came out the other day. Of course, Brian May, Eddie Van Halen and Friends. Specifically, Alan Gratzer, Phil Chen, and Fred Mandel. Right? Joining the two guitar players. Let's take a look at this little digipack thing here. Right, nice little explanation of everything from Brian there, which I will read selections of in just a minute. Even saved the hype sticker. Stephen Reed, you must be happy about that. For those of you who had this EP back in the day, some of this will look familiar. I actually did have this as well. My good buddy Kirk gave me a copy of this way back in the day. There's Brian today. Edward and Brian sitting around jamming on some guitars. How cool that must have been. So, of course, vocals and guitar, Brian May. Guitar, Edward Van Halen. Drums, Alan Gratzer. Bass, Phil Chen. And keyboards, Fred Mandel. All right, so what is Starfleet, you might be asking? Well, Mr. May, I'll read some here to you. Stop. What you have just picked up is not your normal kind of album. Not an album which has been thoughtfully pieced together by a coordinated band as a balanced and polished listening experience. Not a Queen album, not a solo Brian May album. It is a record of a unique event. On the 21st and 22nd of April 1983, 5 musicians from different backgrounds who had previously known each other only as friends played together for the very first time, purely for fun. In listening to this record, I hope you will share in the excitement we felt. Starfleet is the theme tune for a superb TV sci-fi series broadcast in England for kids of all ages. Japanese visuals and British soundtrack, including music by Paul Bliss. The heroes pilot space vehicles which can be assembled into a giant robot for land battles. The aliens fly fantastic insect-like craft which spawn smaller fighting machines, all intent on possession of the secret of F-01. Having been introduced to all this by my small boy, I became equally obsessed by it and formed the idea of making a hard rock version of the title theme. A few months later, I found myself in Los Angeles doing very little. I suddenly realized that 4 musicians with whom I had long wanted to play were at the end of a local telephone call. To my great surprise, they all liked the ideas I had, so I took my courage in both hands, booked a studio, and in we went. None of us had done this kind of thing before. No record company, no plans for release, no backup organization. It's just us, just for fun. It goes on. There's a lot more here, but basically they had no intention of even releasing this, but then he was prompted to do so. And then, of course, this found the store. So basically what they did with this reissue is they remixed it. He's calling it the Naked Mix. Roger Taylor helped out a little bit with this as well. Justin Shirley Smith and Chris Fredrickson also worked on this as well with the remixing job. They remixed it for 2023, giving it more of kind of like a naked sound. There are a couple of interviews here, all right, as well as some live tracks, which I'll get into in a second. So the main EP was basically Starfleet, Let Me Out, which is a blues tune, old song of Brian May's, and Blues Breaker, which is just basically a long, rambling blues jam, right? The Starfleet, the song is kind of cool. It's kind of majestic, kind of futuristic, spacey. It's got Brian singing lead vocals, really cool guitar solos, and it's just a fun song. I always really dug it. Let Me Out, like I said, is more of kind of like a blues rock song. It's decent for what it is, nothing spectacular. Blues Breaker is, you get to hear Eddie, or Edward, trading blues solos back and forth with Brian May. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's just a fun jam. It's nothing else. So really the star of the show is Starfleet. But to kind of hear Brian and Eddie, and you can easily tell them apart because those two guys sound nothing like each other, right? Hear them kind of playing off each other. It's pretty cool. Like I said, you get a interview with Cynthia Fox, release date interview from 1983 talking about this album. And then Bob Coburn from Rockline did an interview also in 1984 talking about this. So, it's kind of weird that they put those right in the middle of the CD because you get the 3 main tracks and the 2 interview segments, and then you get more music. So then you have, from 1993, you get the Brian May Band playing Let Me Out, We Will Rock You, and then another version of We Will Rock You Fast. Okay. Which is kind of cool. So that's basically, that's the Cozy Powell on drums and Brian May on vocals and guitars. And I forget who else was in the lineup. I'll tell you in a second, because it does list it in here. Let's see, where was that? See if I can find it easily. I know I saw it in here. Yeah, okay, so Brian May vocals, guitar, Cozy Powell drums, Jamie Moses guitar, vocals, slide solo, Neil Murray bass, Spike Edney keyboards, vocals, Catherine Porter vocals, and Shelley Preston vocals. So that was when Brian was doing kind of like the solo tours. So yeah, again, it's kind of interesting to hear Brian singing "We Will Rock You," right? Because he doesn't quite have Freddie's range, so it's a little strange, but it's still cool. "Let Me Out" is good on there, and then you have. Also, the 9th track on this disc is the Starfleet complete version, so the longer version. So the first track is the single version, the edited version, and then track number 9 is the complete version. That's the one you really want, because that's got the extended guitar solos and things like that. Really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, this is fun, and like I said, you get additional information in the booklet about the sessions and whatnot, and some ads and things and news clippings and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, if you never heard this before, I mean, now's a perfect time to do so. If you bought it back when it came out, and you have any curiosity in hearing it again, first time released on CD to my knowledge, as well as some cool live cuts and things, it's definitely worth getting. It's not that expensive, so I definitely wanted to jump on this. So let us know what you think of Brian May and Friends Starfleet project down in the comments below. If you've never heard it, go check it out. Let us know what you think. And visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. Should have a couple more for you here today. It's going to be a busy day here on the channel. So with new reviews. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. I'm Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.